Sorry, had to flip the paper. Let's do the next one. 10 equals 15x. Now in this scenario, we have 15x, which we normally don't say the operation, but it's 15 times x. So therefore, we're going to divide by 15 in order to isolate the x. Now 10/15 can simplify. It simplifies to 2/3, which will equal x. And again, you can always rewrite it so that your variable is listed first. Let's try one more like this. Number 8. 7r equals -7/2. Okay. Now for this problem, we're going to do the same concept. We want to remove this 7, so we're going to have to divide by 7. Now, what ends up happening here is that on the right side, we have a fraction divided by another number. And we don't like doing that. We would rather multiply by the reciprocal. So instead, I'm going to set up a reciprocal. So remember, we talked about this last week. You keep the original fraction, you change the sign, and you reciprocate the number. Well, this was 7, and the reciprocal of 7 would be 1/7. And so we can cross simplify from here. 7, or -7 and 7 are common with a factor of 7. So 7 divided by 7 is 1, and -7 divided by 7 would be -1. Multiply across, and we get that r equals -1/2. Now that we've talked about some reciprocals, let's do some more reciprocals. Number 9. 4/5 m equals 28. Now in this scenario, we have a fraction. So in order to remove the fraction, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Because remember, we talked about a reciprocal being multiplied to the original number creates a value of 1. And we want there to just be 1m, not 4/5. So we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So that means we're going to multiply by 5/4 on both sides. So then the 5's cross simplify and the 4's cross simplify, leaving us with just m on the left side. Now on the right side, again, we can think about any whole number being divided by 1, so we can cross simplify. 28 and 4 both have common factors of 4, so therefore they can cross simplify. 4 divided by 4 is 1, 28 divided by 4 is 7. Multiply across, we get 7 times 5, which is 35, divided by 1 times 1, which doesn't change anything, so we'll leave the answer just as 35, rather than writing it as 35 divided by 1. Let's go to the next. 12 equals 3/4 x. Similar concept. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of the number next to the variable. So in this case, we're going to multiply by 4/3. Right side cancels. On the left side, again, think about it as a number divided by 1, and we can cross simplify. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And we get an answer of 16. Let's try another one, just for good measure. So we have 3/2 x equals 16. Okay. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 3/2 is 2/3. Cross simplify, treat it as a value of 1, and we want to see if we can simplify anything on the right side. Well, the problem here is that 16 and 3 don't have common factors, and 2 and 1 don't have common factors. So it means in this case, we're simply going to have to multiply across. So 16 times 2 is 32. 1 times 3 is 3. So we get 32/3.